Moving on, the Palestine Liberation Organization says it has begun talks with Hamas and the Islamic Jihad movements on a Palestinian national unity government. The PLO, led by Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, has appointed a committee and has given it 1 week for the discussions. The PLO says that Abbas will decide who will head the new government. According to the organization, Hamas has conditionally accepted to join the new government, but the PLO warned that it will proceed to form a government even if negotiations with Hamas fail. The resistance movement announced on Friday that it does not recognize the PLO as the right organization to form a government. Last month, Hamas condemned the dissolution of the current Palestinian government. The movement said the move violated the 2012 Cairo agreements signed by Hamas, Fatah, and the Palestinian National Council. Israel Al-Modalal is a journalist and activist joining us from Gaza to tell us more about this. Israel Al-Modalal, so when it comes to what the PLO is trying to do, what's worrying is the fact that it says even if Hamas, talks with Hamas don't bear fruits or results, and that Hamas will be left behind, so to speak. But Hamas has to be part of this government, aside from the fact that it signed that agreement in 2012 with Fatah and the Palestinian National Council.
I didn't hear your second half of the question, but my information until this moment about the unity government, that from the beginning, operational committee of the PLO announced a formation to consult with all the Palestinian groups and movements to form a national unity government. In the beginning, actually, Hamas and Jihad, also Jabha, did not agree to share and to participate with the new unity government because the government belongs to the political program of the President Mahmoud Abbas, which means that this government follow Oslo Agreement and also the quota conditions, and which is unaccepted for any of the Palestinian movements. So when we talk about a unity government, we're talking about a political program. Is this a program going to be for the president, or if it's going to be independent? Actually, until last week, there were lots of negotiation about this subject, which means that there wasn't any agreement from Hamas and Jihad movements, but all the other wives and all functions actually were talking about the necessary of participating from and sharing from Hamas and Jihad to the unity government, because they are the most very important two movements who can actually practice their responsibility and the pressure and put a pressure on the Israeli government and in the ground because of the controlling from Hamas in Gaza Strip and also Jihad in the resistance, as we all know. So it's very important now that they have this step forward to go back to reconciliation, to a real agreement this time, because we have all actually living and witnessing a very difficult time with the occupation after the war. There is no any process to the rebuilding. There is still a blockade to the old borders, and we are witnessing every single day a humanitarian disaster. So with this new step forward, there could be a back to the reconciliation, reading to the political program. It's very important also that might Hamas ignored the political program for the president, that it couldn't be for anyhow to be out of the PLO responsibility or power. So this is why this time they believed that this unity government, which is going to be shared from all the movements, the Palestinians movements here, could be responsible in front of the society, the people who were after those 3 years actually waiting for a hope from the unity government. This time, the responsible and the functions from the government going to be 3 things. the first very important responsibility for them to do is rebuilding. There is millions of people now homeless. There is lots of very bad healthcare situation and lots of other problems actually. So rebuilding, going to have a ceasefire with the Israeli, and in the same time going to agree in a condition might be with a port or airport, but we couldn't go with agreement with the Israeli without having this kind of independence with the Palestinian situation inside, with reconciliation especially. We cannot trust the occupation. We don't believe them because they do not respect any of the conditions. So Hamas and Jihad did well this time to go back to the reconciliation. We wish to have a real unity government that real start again the relations with the Egyptian, with the authority, with the people themselves who wanted this time a real stand from the government, and we actually all agree for a fail from the technocrat government toward their responsibility. So this unity government must this time reopen the elections and the rebuilding, also to open the borders and to be much responsible in front of the people.
Thank you very much for that. Israel Al-Mudalla, journalist and activist there from the Gaza Strip.